Oh. It's okay. I know. Oh, my pleasure. Got pictures going, yeah? All right, good.
All right, again, thank you so much for making it out again to another rally here at the courthouse. I would like to take just a few moments of silence for our friends and neighbors down in Thousand Oaks who woke up today with another senseless gun tragedy and are now battling a wildfire in their town. We can just take a few moments, send them our good thoughts and prayers from their friends up here in San Luis Obispo. All right, thank you very much. Now, about tonight. Thank you again for coming out. Thank you, Women's March SLO. Thank you, SLO Progressives. Thank you, all of our small and active grassroots organizations who got the word out on this short notice for this rapid response to Trump basically firing Sessions. You know, Trump waited until the day after the midterms and asked Sessions to resign yesterday. He has overlooked the Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein, who would be the natural successor, and has appointed Matt Whitaker, who has been outspoken against the Mueller investigation, and he's placed him as the acting Attorney General. This is being perceived as a slow motion Saturday night massacre. This evening, over 900 cities are hosting demonstrations in protest to this action. Our goal with these actions is to create an opportunity for everyone outraged by Trump's abuse of power to engage immediately in voicing their concern. Together, we will communicate unmistakably that this is not okay, that this act to undermine democracy is not going to be allowed to become our new normal. No. We will hear tonight from Congressman Salud Carbajal. SLO's newly re-elected Mayor Heidi Harmon. Chair of our County Democratic Party, Rosemary Wren. And Arroyo Grande writer and activist, Alex Lancaster. So with that, I want to thank you, Congressman, for being here tonight.
Thank you, Gail. Good evening, San Luis Obispo. You almost made me cry with the welcome you gave me. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to start off by recognizing and thanking Gail Bunting for her leadership in putting this wonderful event together. The incredible Women's March organizers for bringing us together to share our concern about this egregious action that President Trump recently took in firing Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Now, you know, Attorney General Jeff Sessions has not been the best Attorney General. But at least he had the decency of recusing himself. And I think when we consider the election and what transpired this Tuesday, this was a referendum on this administration. It was a referendum on the divisiveness and the corruption that this administration has put forth for the past 2 years. Excuse me? We are assembled here because of the threat that the firing of Attorney General Jeff Sessions could have on the integrity and continuance of the investigation being conducted by Special Counselor Robert Mueller. The independent investigation of this administration by independent counsel Mueller must continue. The integrity of our elections, the most basic foundation of our democracy, depends on a thorough investigation and an accurate reporting. An accurate reporting to the American people of what has occurred. We are a nation of laws. We are here tonight to send a clear message to the President. No one is above the law. To date, both Americans and Russians have been indicted since the beginning of the investigation, including 5 individuals who have already pled guilty to a variety of charges. Let's say that again. 5 people have already been indicted. So when you hear some people say this is a partisan, this is not. This is the law of the land and the rule of law being carried out. A complete investigation must continue free from meddling and intimidation from this administration. And both Republicans and Democrats must insist on this in a bipartisan fashion. This is country over party. And we need to reflect that both as Democrats and Republicans. I am 100% in support of my colleagues on the House Judiciary Committee who are urging an emergency hearing on the interim Attorney General appointment of Matthew Whitaker to run the Justice Department. At the very least, Mr. Whitaker's demonstrated partisan biases and conflicts of interest would require his complete recusal on this issue. As your representative in Congress, I remain committed now and into the new term to doing my part to ensure this investigation continues without interference. This is a matter of national security, and the American people deserve to know the truth of how our elections were influenced by the Russian government and its connection to this administration. Know that I am a co-sponsor of the Special Counsel Independence and Integrity Act, and as we move into the 116th Congress in January 2019, I will continue to sponsor legislation that seeks to protect the ongoing independence of Special Counsel Mueller's investigation. In conclusion, I am honored to continue to be your voice in Congress. Thank you for being here this evening to send a message to this administration that we are a democratic country of laws embedded in our Constitution that must be followed. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Congressman. Up next is our newly re-elected mayor, Heidi Harmon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, San Luis Obispo, for giving me the honor of being the mayor of this beautiful community for the next 2 years. Thank you so much. Our nation was founded on the principle that our leaders are our peers, elected representatives amongst equals. Equality and accountability under the law is essential to prevent the terrible threat of tyranny. It's what this country was built on. So in order to thrive as a community and so that we can truly serve everyone, we need to hear from everyone, our peers, our equals, also new voices, marginalized people, our detractors, and those who may be hesitant or afraid to speak up. We cannot merely silence or neutralize dissenting opinions with a tweet or a press conference or a senseless act of hate and violence. Be it in DC or here in our own community, we need to let it be known that these attempts to silence will not equal obedience. We must stand together, lifting each other's voices and assuring that our leaders and representatives use their platform with courage and conviction to stand for and with each of us. As evidenced by the incredible demographic of people elected on Tuesday, a lot of women got elected right here in our own community. Things are looking up. Dawn Addis, Erica Stewart, Carlin Christensen, Susan Funk, Miriam Shaw, Karen Crane, Maria Garcia, and many, many more in our own county. And the people of color and in the LGBTQ plus community, those representing different religions, cultures, and backgrounds, we can see that the tide is turning in our political system. And we can fear this challenge or this change by pulling in, closing ranks, seeking to eliminate and silence perceived threats. Or we can pull up new chairs to the table, open our ears and open our hearts, and see what we might be able to learn from each other. And And in times like these, when our basic democracy is threatened by ego and hate and greed and violence, it is even more important to pull together, to lift each other up, to find common values and work towards a positive, productive, and prosperous future for our planet and for all of its people. And as the Congressman alluded to, this is not, nor should it be, about right and left. This is about right and wrong. And so I call on my fellow mayors across the United States of America to join with us, to stand up and stand with the people of the United States of America. Because he can fire Jeff Sessions, but he cannot fire truth. And he cannot fire justice. And he will never, ever, ever be able to fire the people of the United States. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Heidi. And next up is our chair of the County Democratic Party, Rosemary Wren.
Thank you all for showing up tonight, because this is not okay. We cannot stand for this, and we cannot be idle while this administration continues to mock our Constitution. We cannot allow a band of small-minded people to reverse the progress of not only the last 30 years, but the last 300. Our nation was founded on the principle of shared governance, integrity, and diverse opinions coming together. We cannot allow this president's blatant disregard for our Constitution, for truth, for human rights, to let him normalize this. In the Federalist, James Madison stated, "The accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands, whether of one, a few, or many, and whether hereditary, self-appointed, or elected, may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny." From day one, this president has behaved as a tyrant, relying on deceit and showmanship to develop a cult of personality, a label once used for the leaders of the Soviet Union.
He's a fascist.
This is an entity that his very party purports to despise. He's demonstrated a complete disregard for anyone but himself as he pursues his agenda of nationalism, fear, and greed.
Racism. Racism.
We're better than this. We are showing up. We're showing up for democracy, for integrity, and for each other. On Tuesday, we all went to the polls and we fought back. Yes, we did. We elected women, people of color, and immigrants. We proved we are willing to do the work to make democracy even stronger. We showed up, we spoke up, and we are here today. So our founders literally fought a war to give us this freedom, to escape tyranny. We must continue fighting for what we know is right, just, and fair. The results of Tuesday's election prove we are stronger and we are on the right path. Like our founders, we will do the work when it is hard, when we are tired, because we know it is what is right. What are we going to do from here? We will pay attention. We will use our voices. We will step up. We will march for ourselves and for each other. We will not stop until integrity, respect, and civil rights are restored to our nation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, from Aurora Grande, we have writer and activist Alex Lancaster.
Hi, San Luis. We meet again. I just want to say thank you to Gail for putting this all together within 24 hours, and also for you guys for stepping up your sign game in one day. That's kind of amazing. I'm really impressed. When I led the Families Belong Together rally back in June, I talked about anger. Although my anger has waxed and waned since summer, it's still present. Today it's taking a different form. Until now, Donald Trump has lived his life under the assumption that no one would stop him, that no one would speak up when he did something wrong. Want to swindle people out of a bunch of money? No one will say anything. Want to rape your wife? No one will say anything. Want to cheat on all three of them? No one's going to say anything. Want to grope other women's genitals? Want to lie about where you got your money or about how much money you have? Want to make gross comments about your daughter? Want to mock disabled people, military veterans, victims of gun violence, victims of sexual violence, immigrants? No one will say anything.
I want his taxes!
Same, girl, same. Like you, I'm here tonight because my anger brought me. Regardless of whether he accepts his salary or not, Donald Trump works for us. And his latest move is just egregious. Although I kind of feel like egregious has become the word of the year. We're here tonight, along with thousands, possibly millions of people all over the country, because we're going to say something. And he's going to listen and then probably tweet about it. Hearteningly, Current polls suggest that less than half of the country values party over country. That's the good news. The bad news is that as we speak, Donald Trump is dismantling the very checks and balances that are in place to check and balance him. There's a reason he's trying to be best friends with Kim Jong-un, and it's not because he likes bulgogi. Tonight, I want you to make noise, and I want you to keep making noise. I know it's hard. We're tired. I'm right there with you. We've been at this for 2 years now, and my gray hairs are multiplying like bacteria. But something is happening. We're getting louder and harder to ignore. We're not just snowflakes anymore. Apparently now we're an angry mob. So own it. Get mad and stay mad until the work is done. We're the bosses, and we're not going to let them get away with it. All right, thank you, Alex. All right, another round of applause for all of our speakers tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you. And like it's been said, democracy is a verb. We do have a voice. We do have opportunities to let our elected officials know what we want and how we want it. That's part of being American. All right, so now, without further ado, we're going to now march and join the hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds of thousands across the U.S. that have demonstrated in peaceful protest our discontent to these actions of yesterday. We are watching. Nobody is above the law. Okay. Nobody's above the law. 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 I'm gonna get that picture.
Yeah, right now. Just we'll stand right there.
All right.
Just tell them.
Woo! I'm going to ask you to give us 2 seconds, then I'm going to turn around. We have little Rita in the back. She's got a sign. She's bouncing up and down. She's going to lead us down the street, but just give us 2 seconds here before we turn around. And thank you for coming out tonight.
We're taking a picture of them.
We're taking a picture of you. Thank you guys. Nobody is above the law. Please stay on the sidewalks. We are confined by the law. And watch the stoplights. Thank you.